Okay, just want to start this off. No hate to this comment at all whatsoever. And I'd also like to say that I'm not a licensed professional. All the information that I have is compiled from years of being in therapy and doing my own research and reading the DSM-5 and just getting sources from professionals. Psychosis isn't a disorder itself, it's a symptom. So people with schizophrenia have psychotic symptoms. For me personally, I have psychotic features with my depression, anxiety, stuff like that. Basically, psychosis is hallucinations like auditory hallucinations, tactile hallucinations, visual hallucinations, and delusions. If you genuinely believe that you're experiencing psychosis, please talk to a professional, and if you can't do that, do research. And then talk to a professional as soon as you can, because if you don't, it gets really bad.
Allistic people have a way of making arbitrary rules that they don't actually expect you to follow, and then getting surprised when you follow the rules. One example that comes to mind is signatures. Because growing up, I was told, like, oh, you'll have to make a signature so that you can sign for stuff. It's, like, for legal reasons. And I was told, like, it's supposed to look pretty much the same every time. And I also internalized the fact that, like, signatures can be forged, and, like, people will look at, like, people's signatures, like famous people's signatures, and can tell by the tiniest minute detail that it's not theirs. So in my head, I was like, okay, so I have to practice a lot and make sure that it's right? But as soon as I was old enough to sign for things, and I was, like, panicking because the little device, like, made it really hard to sign my name properly, like, my mom was like, oh, you don't have to actually worry about that because you could just sign a little squiggle and it wouldn't matter. And I'm like, what? Then why did I practice it?
Everything and everything time, good times, doing everything, time, a little bit of everything time, tragedy is important, anything and everything time.
Okay, let me say my piece about Bo Burnham's Inside. So everyone's like, damn, yeah, quarantine was awful, oh my god. That's the point, it's going right over your fucking heads. I don't understand, like, I think that maybe only, like, the other chronically mentally ill people are getting this, but the quarantine wasn't the problem. Quarantine was what made him realize that he was the problem. The fucking point of Inside was the fact, like, the way he re-enters the house, he's still in the house even when he thinks he's left at the end of the movie. Like, it's not quarantine ending, he's stuck in his brain, he's stuck with his mental illness for the rest of his life. He's never going to get to go outside, like, metaphorically. You guys have to tell me I'm not the only one who gets this. You're stuck in your brain, it's always gonna be like this,
You know, something that I've noticed is that there's two kinds of depressed people. There's the kind where, like, you're legitimately worried for them because, like, they have a hard time functioning and, like, they have a hard time learning how to cope and how to deal with their own issues. And then there are the kind that are just kind of vibing, where they're just like, oh, hello. And they're the kind... And then there are the kind where they're just kind of, like, hanging out and they're just kind of vibing and they're like, oh no, I absolutely want to die, but I'm not allowed to kill myself, so I'm just gonna kind of see where this goes.
I'm going to talk about the uh-oh plateau. And that's not actually what it's called, that's what I call it. And the uh-oh plateau is essentially this place where individuals with ADHD have been able to cruise through school. Like, no problems, didn't have to study, didn't really have to do much, just had to, like, show up to class and kind of, like, mostly listen. And they did great in school. They did just fine. You know, they were able to hear and they were able to just, like, remember things. And then suddenly we reach a place where things actually get difficult. Like, the amount of information that we're expected to recall exceeds that which can just be readily absorbed. And we've reached this place without ever learning how to study. We've reached this place without ever having to learn how to memorize. And it becomes very, very frustrating. And this is actually one of the reasons why a lot of people with ADHD, especially inattentive type, don't get diagnosed until much, much later, or people think that we're faking it. Because we've made it this far, why can't you make it more? Now you're just making excuses. Now you're just being lazy. You just need to try harder. But it's a very real...
Do any other mentally ill kids who are like punished for being mentally ill, or like punished for showing like weakness or like emotion or whatever, hide in their bathroom, like a locked bathroom in their house? Because like it can't just be me. And you may say, why don't you just go to your bedroom? That's a more normal place to be upset and sad or what. No, it is not, because my bedroom door doesn't lock. And my family don't know what the word privacy means, so we'll just walk into my bedroom whilst I'm feeling shit. So the only logical explanation is to go sit in a locked bathroom for 4 hours every other day.
So I feel my emotions physically. I'm autistic. And that's how I've been expressed, that most autistic people feel their it's a physical feeling, so we have to process them through our thoughts. Whereas other people who aren't autistic, or who are who aren't neurodivergent, because I don't know if this is exclusive. This might be something that also non-autistic neurodivergent people experience. But a lot of neurotypical people think they're feelings, which is insane to me. Like, they come as thoughts. But that being besides the point, where I feel my emotions are different all the time. But anger is one that I never pick up on because it's so subtle, and it affects my breathing, and it makes it hard for me to breathe. And then I actually let myself be fully angry, and it radiated through my entire body, like I was shaking, and then I had to stim to regulate. But has anyone else felt that?
I don't want this comment section to turn into a trauma competition, but you know what is genuinely surprising to find out about other people? If you're emotionally stunted due to something that your parents have done or how they treated you, it's always so crazy to find out what other people's definition of yelling is. Let's set the scene. You're walking with your friend, you're dressed super nice, it's your birthday. This is the nicest you've ever looked. A massive dog that's super muddy runs up on you and starts to jump on you, and you say, oh my God, can someone come get their dog? Can you get this dog off of me? And their owner comes up, takes the dog. It's all good. You guys walk away, and your friend is just like, why did you yell like that? And you have to pause, because it's like, that wasn't yelling. And it wasn't like, you're not like, that's, if you want to see yelling, I'll show you yelling. It's like, wait. That's your definition of yelling. Oh my.
So, if you're ADHD or autistic and this comment speaks to you, I need you to look up something called avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, which is an eating disorder that requires no dysmorphia, which I didn't know existed. But I've got it. Yeah, I can do that. Actually, I'll use this video to dispel a few of the myths that I've seen about it as well. You know, the reason I put it out in the first place was because I thought it would be able to help people, especially ADHD autistic people. But that's kind of the first myth I need to dispel, which is my fault. You don't have to be neurodivergent to have avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. It's just really common amongst us. The second thing I want to talk about is you don't have to be at a low weight and you don't have to be losing weight to have ARFID. If your psychiatrist tells you that, they're literally just wrong. You could be losing weight or at a low weight, but you could also be in a normal weight range. Technically, I'm in a normal weight range, just about. But you could also be gaining weight, and you could also be in a high weight range. Especially if the foods that you find safe just so happen to be high calorie, low nutrition. And that's what I mean when I say it doesn't involve dysmorphia. It's not about how you look, it's about your relationship to food itself. Okay, so let's talk about some of the recognised causes of ARFID. My ADHD autistic people will soon recognise why we're more susceptible to them. What's relevant to this comment is food sensitivity. That could be taste, that could be texture, that could be smell, that could be appearance. All of which can lead to sensory-based avoidance or restriction in food intake. What's important to note is that ARFID doesn't cause those things, ARFID is caused by them. But if you avoid foods for a long time and you don't interact with them for a long time, you can over time become sensitive to them. So there may be a link there, yeah. I actually also really hate broccoli. One of my hacks is to blend the hell out of it and stick it in pasta sauces, because that's a safe food for me. I'm really happy to answer questions with this. I am at the start of my journey, but I'm a journalist, so I will read up. But can you please use the Q&A feature thing, because I work and I sleep and there are too many comments. And lastly, I'm not a doctor.
Do you hear things that other people don't? And do you have an iPhone? Well, do I have something amazing for you. First, you're going to want to go to settings, scroll down to accessibility, and then tap on it. Next, once you're in accessibility, what you're going to do is go into hearing, tap on sound recognition, and turn it on. Here's a list of the things that are in the sound recognition. I have all of them turned on because I tend to hallucinate a lot of different things. And finally, here's proof that it works.
In a recent video, I mentioned that bad accents are another trait of ADHD, to which some of you proclaim that your accents are just fine, but yes, it is a trait. Fair enough. Anyways, I was doing a little more research on that, and I came across another phenomenon called cluttering, something I'd never heard of, but recognized immediately. In many of my videos, you guys have felt a kinship to a lot of the traits I've listed, but I have a feeling this one is not going to be one of them. It seems kind of rare because I've just never heard of it before. And I had no idea this was what was happening to me. So this happens every single video I make. Basically, it felt like my mouth was stumbling over my words and that maybe my brain was going too fast for my words. Ironically, I don't think it's happened yet on this video because I want to show you guys. A person who clutters has a rapid speech rate, which is irregular in rhythm and often accompanies inappropriate pausing and inflection. That was hard. Speech may sound unclear and blended, especially as they increase in length and complexity.
Honestly, I have started teaching her already. She really just knows the basics. Mommy doesn't have a whole bunch of emotions unless it's with her. Mommy doesn't hug people. Mommy doesn't like people. Mommy doesn't like to go outside unless necessary. Mommy isn't like other mommies. That's how I try to explain it to her. She knows that I'm not like other moms. She can tell. I don't know how she can, but she can. Like, if we're in public. Oh no, one time we went to Walmart and there's this little kid crying and the mother was yelling at the kid because the kid was crying. Tiny was like, Mommy, you don't do that. Is that right? I'm like, no, it's not right, but you know. Then she looked me in my face. My 4-year-old looked me in my face and was like, Mommy, I want to go home. I don't like outside. That's my kid.
First of all, if you're my boyfriend or you know him, stop watching. This is not for you. It's a surprise. But if you're sensitive to sound or neurodivergent, this is for you. So, I was talking with my boyfriend last night and he was discussing how when he went shooting with his friends and wore noise-canceling headphones, he sort of noticed that he really liked them and would kind of want to wear them all the time. And I thought about getting some for my boyfriend as a surprise when he comes up to visit me soon, but then I realized he would probably get kind of annoyed having like something on his head all the time. So I was like, okay, do they make like an earbud version of noise canceling headphones? And it turns out they do. So this company called Loop makes these earplugs that are noise canceling, but they don't muffle sound like regular earplugs. So you can still hear people talk. You can't like hear your own heartbeat. They just turn down the volume. And like that's how they look in your ears. They're pretty inconspicuous. They're not gonna be like super bulky and like annoying. And the reviews are all pretty good, so I got him a set and I will let y'all know if he likes them, but the reviews were all really good, so if this is something you struggle with, check it out.
Well, it seems your boy has an abnormal defect of moral control. It only affects boys. That was a really sentence. Since we're making that big book full of mind things, do you want to add that one weird impulsive thing? It's too much work. What do you want to call it? Hyperkinetic impulse disorder. We need a new name. Yeah, I completely agree. Some of them just aren't hyperactive. They'd be internally hyper. You know what, never mind. Just call it ADD with hyperactivity or without. It could be internal. You know what? Yeah, screw it. That's too much work. Just write two names. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Alright, so we'll just call it ADHD and we'll have an impulsive hyperactive type, an inattentive type, and the combined type. Just need to switch types to presentation. Switch it to presentation. I don't give a fuck. TikTokers calling it Dave. That's fucking awesome.
Hey, our child is lining up all of her toys in a row and spinning in circles for hours on end and talking to herself like she's pretending to have a conversation. And organizing and sorting all of her Legos and putting them together by similar shape, size, and color. Should we be worried about?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Give me a second. Let me call my mom. Hey, Mom. Is it normal for a kid to do this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you did it when you were a kid, so it's normal.
Okay, thanks, Mom. Bye. I think kids just do that. So, I think she's fine.
Okay. What about her screaming anytime she's uncomfortable with something?
Yeah.